Martin. Hello, Martin. Are you there, Martin?
John?
Yes, how you doing, Martin?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just listening here about some stuff about AI, which you're also interested in, right? And so I will join you again when the meeting starts. Okay?
Okay, Martin, I wanted to ask you, do you want
Sure,
to,
1 minute.
I want to
Yes.
invite you to present next Sunday for the China Grand Round.
All right.
You want to present?
Yeah, I could, something which is going to be a little bit more down to earth.
Yeah, okay.
Some thoughts about lumbar spinal root compressions, because everybody thinks, oh, it's just a compression, it's just a hernia or something, but there's really quite a lot of detail, so I can give them a brief outline about that.
Okay, let me, hold on, let me give you my address here, my email address.
I think I have it, John. It's like John at the beach or something, right?
No, it's a different one.
Okay.
It's a more professional. jb@neurosurgical.tv. It's in the chat. You see the chat?
Right. Let
JB
me open the chat here. Yes. Okay. Let me copy this.
Okay.
Let me copy this out. Okay. Into some text document or something. Right. Okay. I might as well send you a hello message as this whole thing progresses. But let me follow with this AI discussion here. These people are going a little bit overboard, but it's very interesting. It's a kind of like an intelligent spell checker, I would say.
Okay. I Sunday, August 13th at 8 p.m. China time. Okay.
Right.
You got that? You got that?
I will write it down here. Yes. Okay. Sunday, 13th of August.
Yeah, please.
8 p.m. China, which is 4 p.m. here. Okay,
Right,
4 p.m. here. Yeah. And one last thing. So how long is that going to have to be? So
45, about 30 to 45 minutes, and some like 15 minutes for questions.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you could tell me about the subject.
Yeah, I will send you an email. Oh,
yeah, something interesting,
No, it's going to be okay. So we can call it, you got something to write.
Yeah.
Let's call it
well, think about it.
My microsurgical approaches to the lumbar nerve root revisited.
Okay.
Because because some of it will be quite basic, some of it will be touching things that people haven't done, some of it becomes relevant again in the context of endoscopic, which I've only dabbled with. I haven't really done very much.
All right.
But so it's a kind of a framework how to think about things. And I mean, some of this material goes back 20 years where we presented it at the WFNS and stuff, but yeah, so it'll be something which is not, you know, like about the latest in cerebrovascular or any, you know, kind of subject like
Yeah.
that, but it's of practical interest.
Okay, and send me a resume too, if you can, you know, just
Sure, sure.
a link or something to
Yes,
your
sure,
LinkedIn profile or whatever you got.
sure.
But you've been practicing, have you ever taught in China? Ever spoken in China?
Well, yeah, well, I know Chinese because my second wife is actually Chinese,
Oh, good.
and yes, and she's always, you know, going on that I should go over there, and maybe I will one of these days. I'm kind of looking for a new challenge, to be honest. Obviously, what happens if you go there? First of all, you know, like you have to get used to a lot less money, which is fine.
Right.
And but then I don't know what my role will be because my Chinese is good enough to talk to people. Where does it hurt? What you know? But if I had to write a report, an operative report in Chinese language, I mean I couldn't do it. You know, I would need a
Right.
secretary who knows
Right.
English. So you know, that kind of thing. Or if I had to read a referral note written in Chinese, I'd be completely lost, you know.
Well, you know, it's going very well because the largest neurosurgical journal in China is going to collaborate with us. It's
Right.
called, yeah, it's the biggest journal. It's called brainmed.com. Let me show you the website. It's the largest, it's got a great archive of neurosurgery video. Just
Yeah.
golden. It's gold. Uh,
Atul Gol is involved, or what are you saying?
brain med.
Well, you know, I do think that they have a need in academic institutions for people like me who are tutoring them a little bit in you know, the English spoken side of things, and you know, just sharing our experience and that kind of thing.
Definitely a big thing in China. Okay, you see the website there? I'm sharing it.
Let me see. Where are we? Zoom. Yeah. Okay. So that, yeah. So where is the address? Let me see. Can you copy and paste that address into the chat, please?
Yeah, sure.
Right. Okay. Okay. Hello?
Okay, you see the website, right?
Yes, I got it. Let me actually put here. Okay. While we're on the subject, and we have some time here, I will, Um, okay, I will send you here just a very short link, you know, kind of uh, uh, where are we? So
تفاصيل تمام. حسوني لازم يفوت يسبح.
منه خلي باكر.
ما حاطط ديودرنت وعرقان الريحة حيل ما طيبة. مو مستحيل يجينا. تعال يما شوف شنو السيارة تقتل.
هذا ايش فيهم؟
ايش بعد؟
John,
Yes,
did you see I sent you a number of communications in the chat,
okay.
and with the titles, I think
John.
the last one might be the best one, and the brief, you know, sort of summary type.
Okay, we'll talk later, okay, Martin?
Sure, you're getting busy now. Okay.
Okay. Guillermo, how you doing? Can you hear me? CENEPAR, hello? Can you hear me? I don't think you can. Can you hear me, CENEPAR? Can anybody hear me? You can hear me, Martin, right? Hello, CENEPAR, are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you, John. I can hear you,
Okay.
John.
Okay, CENEPAR, you're muted. You're muted. Okay,
Hey, John, can you listen to me?
yeah. I can hear you. Okay, these are going to be lectures, right? And you put your email address, Martin, right? Ali Akram, can I help you? Your hand is raised. Ali, can I help you?
Oh, hello, John. How are you?
Is this Ali?
Yeah, this is Ali.
Okay, how you doing?
Fine. How are you? Nice to talk with you again, John.
Oh, okay, nice for you to be here. Now, are you going to come into the panel or stay out?
Actually, the time is very late here. I think I will go out. But
Okay. No problem.
I thought that there will be a lecture for Professor Rokue Tanikawa.
Yeah, it starts in about 9 minutes.
Okay. On the platform here on Zoom.
Yeah, right here in about 10 minutes.
Okay, I think so. I will go on with you and listen to the whole lecture.
Yeah, you can still hear the presentation and see it. And
Yeah, I saw.
you can even check.
Will it be shared on YouTube or only on
Yeah,
Zoom?
it's on YouTube also, the same time.
Okay. I think I will go to YouTube. That is easier for me.
Well, yeah, you can go, that YouTube link is right on the front page of Neurosurgical TV.
Okay, that's very good.
That's
Yeah,
that's the
very good.
YouTube link. That's the YouTube.
Yes. That's very good. Thank you, John. Thank you.
Okay. There's Martin. Okay, let me get my camera on here too. Yeah. See, it's like Dubai here.
Bom dia a todos os brasileiros.
There you go.
Bom dia.
There's a few. You recognize any? Gustavo looks like he might be Portuguese or from Brazil. So how long you been in Dubai, Martin? You're from Germany originally, right?
I'm from Switzerland actually. I've been in Dubai now since end of 2018.
Okay.
And yeah, I have this role as co-director of a training program, which is a little bit of a fledgling thing here, I have to say, but we're trying our best.
Okay.
So
Do you use Zoom? Do you have lectures in Zoom? Is your curriculum in Zoom? Or how does that program work, the training program? You mean in the hospital with the regular residents?
yeah, we have residents, and then like we also send them to Saudi Arabia because Saudi Arabia has higher numbers of patients basically. And yes, we are the main center here at the public hospital, but the neurosurgery scene here is quite fragmented and a little bit immature, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't they have some huge plans for medical city over there? Like, aren't there some?
Yeah, the
huge-
Saudis are have been much stronger in that respect, building kind of medical cities and that sort of thing. No, they didn't do that. There's quite a number of private hospitals, and they're all competing for a relatively small number of properly insured patients. You see, the most of the patients here are not properly insured. So often,
Right.
if they need anything that's beyond acute trauma or acute intracerebral hemorrhage or whatnot, then they often get sent back to India for insurance reasons. Yeah. Yeah, and India is, like it's the main expat population here. Well, there's Pakistan as well, and yeah.
Okay, they're mostly laborers.
Yes.
Labor-
Well, I mean, there's anything from simple laborers to doctors and engineers. I mean, the whole gamut is there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, and the neurosurgeons expats, most of them?
Yes.
some-
Yes. We are in the process of training local ones, but in the whole of the UAE, there's maybe, I don't know, less than 5 anyway.
Wow,
Yeah.
it's a big
Yeah.
country. How many million people? 100 million?
Well, that's another thing, there's so many people here who are not really registered with proper ID, so they're kind of here on visit visas and doing jobs and this and that. So nobody is really quite sure what the population is, but I would estimate it's around, the whole country is around 9 million to 10, they say.
Oh, okay. That's not too big.
And Dubai is
But the
around
Indian
3 million,
Pakistan-
but nobody is exactly sure how much it is.
Well, that's really not that many compared to India and Pakistan. Wow.
No.
Not nearly.
I'm actually being approached by some Pakistan doctors, and that we do collaboration with them because you see, they have a lot of patients, but again, a lot of these people over there also have problems of paying for the healthcare. This is a global problem. You know, we have all these technologies, we developed our science, our techniques, but what we did neglect is how can we make it economically viable?
Well, the first
You
step,
know,
the first step is education, and then work from there.
yes, yeah, absolutely. And then with even simple tools, you can do a lot, but still, you know, it's just a bit out of whack, the whole thing, I
Well,
would
we
say.
would like to establish a worldwide network of neurosurgery with for the developing countries. What
Yeah.
we're going to do is offer every undeveloped country, we're going to offer them 2 free webcasts per month.
Right.
Just to get them into the network of neurosurgery.
Right.
Because most of these organizations that are ahead, they don't have the money to do.
They don't have the money. That's right.
Do it, things like Zoom webcast, like this with Zoom webcast.
Yeah.
So we have, so if we do that, that might be a start. Because education
is.
doesn't cost a lot. It
It
doesn't
is.
cost a lot. It's free. It's going to be free for these countries.
Yes.
Free education.
Yes.
Once they're in the network, I think we'll have a better chance at adjusting the education in every country. Some needs real basic stuff. Some don't need real basic stuff. Individualize it to every country.
Mm. Absolutely, and that's the beauty of your program, John. You know, really, it's impressive what you've come a long way. You know, you started about 4 years ago.
We're going to do it with the world. We're going to do it with the world. We're going to do it. I'm approaching Barrow, as a matter of fact.
Sometimes odd people get to have the Nobel Prize for Peace, but I think you deserve it better than some other Americans who really started wars instead of making peace. But anyhow,
yeah.
Let that be an aside.
Oh, a few breaks, maybe a few breaks. And
I sure hope Biden doesn't get the Nobel Prize for peace. But
you don't think Donald Trump will get it?
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe
they all have their shortcomings. Nobody's perfect, right?
Oh, that's for sure.
It's a bit of, but at the end of the day, it seems it's a choice between Pepsi Cola and Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, we're going to start here. Where is Guillermo? We're going to start a few minutes later, I guess. Well, the thing is, there's no organization that covers the whole world. The WFNS really doesn't do too much, really.
No.
For these,
no. And the WFNS is highly political, unfortunately. There's certain groups that are running it, and it suffers a little bit, like the American organizations. There was the CNS and the AANS, and that also it came about because there was political issues. Who is, the president, and God knows what.
Well, we're going to try a different way. We're going to try.
You'll be the president, okay?
Oh, it's going to be free. So, I mean, how can they argue, really?
Yes.
Because all these other organizations have to charge because they're going to pay all those political guys.
Yeah.
And they all are. Whenever there's a group of 4 or 5 neurosurgeons, they're not going to agree on anything. So I think you have to stick your neck out and say, let's try this, and not have people pay for it and not have they get approval. Just put it out there and see how it goes.
Yeah.
But I know that in Latin America, they appreciate it. We're doing some in Honduras.
Yeah, I have been a little bit lazy lately because I could actually participate a little bit more because I do know a little bit of Spanish and even some Portuguese. But anyhow, I will do my best. And if I'm a helpful panelist to ask a question here and there, and okay.
Yeah, that helps. That helps. Well, you're very
Yeah,
active.
people are often shy to even sometimes you need to ask a stupid questions. Stupid questions can be very deep, can be very intelligent actually.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. At first I was a little shy, but now I ask people like, hey, Martin, what do you think of this? You know,
Yes,
or,
yes,
you know,
yes,
rather
yes.
than when everyone's quiet, then I go ask people. And
Sure.
that's better. That's better.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they want to get, you know, they like to get asked with their
Yeah.
opinion. You know, for certainly for some of neurosurgery. Students I could see, they're intimidated. It's rare that you find a student that has the guts.
Are you based? You always keep showing this Miami Beach. I presume it is behind you, right?
That's it. I live right down over here. Down over,
Okay.
a little bit
Well,
further.
the only place I've been to was in 2000. What was it? In 19. We had I'm a member of the North American Skull Base Society, so we had a meeting in Orlando.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
totally different part of the state.
Yeah,
Inland, very flat,
yeah,
and it's all hotels. That's all
right.
it is.
Yeah.
Disney World and hotels.
And I guess you have a pretty large Latino population there,
Yeah,
traditionally.
it's mostly Latino here. I think it's like
Yeah.
must be almost like 70%. I
Right.
mean, you on the street, you're gonna hear Spanish everywhere, everywhere in the hotel.
That's lovely. They're lovely people. I like them.
Yeah, I do. That's why I like Miami. It's very Latin.
Yeah.
It's all types of Latin. Chile, Mexico, all different
Right.
types of Latin.
Yeah. See, I like the Italian-speaking part of Switzerland, the Ticino. It's,
Where?
You know, south of the Alps, there's still a little bit of Switzerland there, but the official language there is Italian. It's called Ticino, Lugano, and like places like that. They're just more easygoing. I don't know what it is about these Latino people, but they bring about an atmosphere of it's just easygoing anyway.
Yeah, I know.
They're not so dour like us.
And things not as efficient, and they're not so crazy about money.
That's right. Yeah.
And, yeah, I enjoy. That's why I like staying in Miami. Very Latin, very Latin.
When I was a fellow in Toronto, that was in the mid-90s. There was a guy, and he went down to the Bahamas. One of the fellows, and he said, why don't you come also? So I went down to the Bahamas, and I actually did 2 or 3 operations there. But the Bahamas, and they, you know, I could have started there after Toronto, but I felt a little bit bottled up because, you know, like the Bahamas, the main island there, Nassau, it is, you know, you drive 15, 20 minutes, you're around the whole island.
Yeah.
And he said, if you need anything, you have to go over to Miami.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time in the Bahamas. Yeah, it's very rural, very rural.
Yeah.
Everything serious has to come airlifted to the Miami. And there are different health systems, so you have to get, you know, special licenses. It's like an English territory. I think it's independent, but basically British government. And I think
it is like an English territory, but you see, I hold a British license also, or I am eligible and stuff. So yeah, I could have done it. But the thing was also one thing which I want to ask you. I mean that there seemed to be quite a lot of social tension on that island as well. I mean, there's some people there that are, at least that's 25 years ago now, that were quite underprivileged. And so there were a lot of break-ins, and you had to be careful, and you know where you stay.
Or Nassau?
Nassau, I believe, yeah.
Okay, that's New Providence. That's the main island. It's a small island, but it's like you say, you're 15 minutes, you're around the whole island. And, you know, it has a sordid background, casinos, drugs, you know,
Yeah.
prohibition, had prohibition, everyone go over there and buy booze, and then it turned into drugs, and now they got control of that. They're pretty protected by the United States, and the United States is pretty nosy too about what they do.
Right.
So they shut down the drug business because they had people buying islands, drug barons. They'd buy an
So that
island,
they can land without
land the plane in, refuel, and head on to Georgia and Florida and drop
Right.
bales of it in the farms. That's what they did. That's what they were doing for a while, dropping bales of it.
Yeah, I kind of got a whiff of that, and I thought, okay, I'm not so sure whether I would fit in well into this society here, but and I decided not to go there.
Yeah. Yeah, I got, it's very, very slow, very rural. Not much
Yeah.
to do. There's beach and that's it.
Yeah,
It's very rural. Beautiful. You have a family, you want a holiday, it's beautiful.
yeah,
And the beach is just like the background, just like that. I mean, except the sand is even whiter.
right.
It's
Yeah.
somewhat, most of the islands is very white sand, very clean beaches.
Have you been in the U.S. Virgin Islands?
No, never have, never, but it looks gorgeous.
But
Looks
they're
better,
also
looks
kind
better.
of like that, right?
I know, I think it's actually nicer in the Virgin Islands. The islands is not so flat. And the Bahamas is pretty flat and scraggly.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hey, John.
how you doing, Gary? What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
John, can you allow Dr. Borba? He's in with his computer. It's with his name.
there he is. Okay. Yeah.
Just allow him to be a panelist.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Hello, Louis. Good day. Do you hear me? Are you going to moderate, or should I introduce, or who? Are you there, Guillermo? Louis, you should be in here, Louis. Still doesn't get in. Trying to get you in, Louis. He dropped off again. And Louis dropped off for Guillermo. Hello, Guillermo. Okay. Can you hear me? Hello?
Hi, John. I'm in the OR right now. I will round up soon and then become a lot more active.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah, we haven't started yet, so you have time.
Okay. Thank you.
Tie those knots tight. We're waiting for Guillermo. Dr. Borba was here briefly, but he left.
Yeah, he was on the screen, but now he's not there anymore.
Yeah. Guillermo, you want to send Dr. Borba in, please? Guillermo, Dr. Tanakawa is supposed to be live. Is that not true? Guillermo? Well, can you come on the panel, please, Guillermo? And speak to me? All right, folks, we're waiting to see what's going on. Guillermo, could you come in and explain what's going on? Kind of like to know. Oh, can you hear me?
John,
Yes.
it seems they're having trouble to connect or something.
Yeah, I think they're having some connections.
So they're probably trying to log in and like that.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Bober apparently has trouble with his computer, but they should be able to televise from the other computer. They have a computer to the OR for tomorrow. They're gonna televise some live surgery, but
Dr. Borba, he's in Sao Paulo, isn't he?
oh, okay. Well, it doesn't look good here. Okay, oh boy. Oh, boy. Okay, I'll tell the, okay, panelists, I'm sorry to say, they're gonna be delayed about a half hour. Dr. Rakoya Tanakawa is going to lecture in less than 30 minutes, okay? So just hang in there. I'm gonna write that down. Okay. Okay, hopefully Guillermo is coming in to explain what is going on. I believe it's about a 20-minute wait until Rokuya Tanakawa does a presentation. But Guillermo, one of the coordinators for this webcast, hopefully will let us know. Hmm.
John?
Yes.
Well, I guess somehow it didn't work out, so it's quite late here, so I'm gonna leave, okay?
Okay, no problem. Okay, so it's confirmed a week from this Sunday, 8 o'clock
Yeah.
China time, and we'll be in
Yeah,
contact.
I sent you some information in the chat. Did you manage to copy
Yeah,
and paste?
I copied it and pasted
Yeah,
it.
sure.
Let me make sure I
Okay.
got it.
Okay.
Okay, Martin, thank you. We'll be seeing
Okay,
you.
you're welcome. Take care.
Okay,
Bye now.
bye-bye. Oh, Dr. Natal, okay. Hopefully, we're gonna start in about 10 minutes. Dr. Natal, are you there?
Yeah. Hello, John. How are you?
Hi, Dr. Natal, how are you today?
Fine, fine. Waiting for the starting of Dr. Rokuya.
Okay, Guillermo said that Dr. Rokoya is going to go, but I don't know. Let me check with him.
Okay.
Okay, Guillermo, are you there? Okay, let me check on his WhatsApp. Okay, I'm just asking Guillermo now if Dr. Natal should go first. I'm just waiting for his answer. Oh, here he is. Okay. Guillermo, you're going to come in and introduce Dr. Tanakawa?
Hello.
Hi, Dr.
Hello.
Tanakawa. How are you doing?
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you for your invitation.
Okay, you're up in Sapporo, right?
Yes.
I'm John Bennett.
Hi.
How you doing?
Yeah, good.
I saw the video, the Last Samurai.
Uh-huh. Ah,
That
thank
was
you.
very good. That told a lot about you, and not just the medical.
Yeah.
It took a while to film that, right? It took a while to get that.
Yeah.
That took a little work.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Very good. Let me wait for Guillermo. Are you here? Are you coming in? Let me just get Guillermo. Or Dr. Natal, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello, Rokuya. How are you?
Hello, Natal.
Dr.
Long
Natal,
time not see.
Yeah. Yes, John.
yes, could you please introduce Dr. Tanakawa? I want to have a neurosurgeon introduce him, okay?
Yeah, yes, of course. You
Okay.
tell me when I can
Okay,
introduce.
good. So I'll start and then I'll turn it over to you and have you give a proper neurosurgical introduction to Dr. Tanikawa. Okay?
Okay.
Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Good evening from Miami Beach. This is Dr. John Bennett broadcasting the CENEPAR, the CME for the cerebral vascular neurosurgery. And we have the pleasure of having Dr. Tanikawa, who really needs no introduction, but we need to have a proper neurosurgical introduction by Dr. Nathal. Welcome, Dr. Nathal.
Yeah, good evening. How are you? Everybody's welcome to this lecture. And as you say, Dr. Tanikawa do not need any presentation. He's a very famous neurosurgeon, maybe one of the most complete neurosurgeons in the world just right now. He belongs to the school of Professor Kamiyama. Many great neurosurgeons in Japan now were formed under his tutelage, and Dr. Tanikawa has developed by himself a lot of techniques and very detailed surgical techniques and videos that are very useful for every young neurosurgeon. So now he's making a great work in Sapporo, and every year he has a training course for mainly young neurosurgeons that just 1 month ago maybe was the last course, if I am correct, Dr. Tanikawa, and it's a great honor. He will speak now about the state of the art of microsurgery. So, Dr. Tanikawa, welcome. Thank you very much for collaborate with the Brazilian young people. There are also people from another countries, and this lecture will be open to all the world. So thank you very much again for your staying here with us and giving us also a great lecture. Thank you.
Thank you, Natal.
Hey, John.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Natal.
Hey, John.
Thank you for your kind introduction about me.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
Can you hear me, John?
It's a great honor to talk my experiences about the cerebrovascular surgery. I'll share my presentation. Just a moment. Oh. Oh.
Hello.
Hello,
Good
Dr.
evening.
Good evening.
Hola, Edgar. Hello, Professor Tanikawa.
Hello.
Good to hear you.
Professor Boba. Thank you for your invitation.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You know,
No está marcada.
it's a great pleasure to us.
Just a moment, please. Sorry, my system has something trouble. So just relaunch the Zoom.
Okay, you'll be back. Pô, se aconteceu o problema com o
I
japonês.
think he's rebooting.
Reboot. Hola, Edgar, ¿cómo estás? ¿Todo bien?
Bien, tudo bem.
Tudo bom? Mañana puede hablar en portuñol, no hay problema alguno.
Ok.
Y gracias por aceptar. Porque
No,
para Tanikawa, mañana ia ser muy difícil.
Sí.
Sería sábado a noche ya.
Sí, de acuerdo.
Hello, John, how are you?
Good,
Thank
how
you
you
very
been, Louis?
Okay, the man is back.
Yeah. Well, you know, we're going to try to televise the neurosurgery tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have surgery, live surgery tomorrow. You try to transmit also. A giant ophthalmic aneurysm.
Okay.
Let's do live surgery today.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go. You want to try it again?
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yes.
Can you
There you
see
go.
my
Introduce you.
the screen?
The
Yes.
audience here. You know, it's a great pleasure to me
Yeah,
and a
thank
great honor to me to see Professor Tanikawa here. In the last
Yeah,
years,
yeah, thank you for invitation.
revascularization, the cerebral revascularization is a great topic for the neurosurgeon. And you are the man
Yeah.
that brings this technique to us and show how beautiful it is, how possible it is to do. You know how many people now is following you around the world. Several young neurosurgeons today want to learn to do cerebral revascularization because of your work. Thank you very, very much what you are doing to us and to all the young neurosurgeons in the world. I give you the word.
Yeah.
And thank you very, very much, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Professor Boba. Yeah, I love to talk my experience, especially to share with you. Thank you so much. Okay, so today I'd like to talk about the principles of the neurosurgery, especially vascular reconstructions. I always emphasize that the clean operative field, when we perform the not only the vascular reconstruction, but also any surgeries. In right up the videos, this is the process of craniotomy after removing the bone flap. And I am trying to do a complete hemostasis epidural space. And then without red cells on the dura, you can open the dura. And then we can try to do the separation of Sylvian fissure. This is the left side front temporal craniotomy. And the PCOM aneurysm is exposing. And in the right side down video, this is the process of a dural closure. The dural closure is very important to do the watertight dural closure. And this is the principle to do to have the something eligibility to do a microvascular anastomosis, because my mentor, Professor Kamiyama, always told us that a neurosurgeon who cannot perform the watertight dural closure cannot perform the microanastomosis. Yeah, it's true. So I force my young neurosurgeons in my hospital to close the dura watertightly every time in every surgery like this. And this is the left inferior picture. This shows the everting situation of the two vessel walls like this. With the everting situation, it's easy to penetrate both vessel wall easily. Usually, it can be done with one action with a counter force. So these are the very important principles to do the microanastomosis. And when we perform the end-to-side anastomosis, because in neurosurgery, the end-to-side anastomosis is a basic technique to do the microanastomosis. So when we perform the end-to-side anastomosis, regardless using STA graft or radial artery or something, the saphenous vein graft, regardless big or small the donors, it's important to use the fishmouth trimming like this. At the end of donor, the donor end should be cut with a 60 degree like this, and the same length should be cut up. With this configuration, we can make the stitching length 2 times 2 large D divided by √3. This means that the stitching length should be 2.3 times larger than the shrunk diameter of the donor. It makes longer to stitch the vessel to complete the microanastomosis, but it makes easier to confirm the both vessel walls, donor and recipient, whether the inside is correct when penetrate the needles, whether the needle is completely piercing the vessel wall, including the endothelium or not. And with this fishmouth trimming, the everting technique, like this, the both vessel wall can be attached intima to intima. It's easier. So these fishmouth trimming is a principle to do a microanastomosis. And the stitching bite should be twice of the wall thickness like this. If the wall thickness was large T, the stitching bite should be 2T. And the interval should be 4 times of wall thickness. So this is a principle as well. And we can calculate the cross-sectional area when we perform the fishmouth trimming in the left side. And if we do not perform the fishmouth trimming, the simple T connection, then of course the orifice cross-sectional area is a simple like this, pi r square. And but with the fishmouth trimming, amazingly, of course, it's just a simple math. The 3.6 times larger than simple T connection. So this is a principle to maintain the patency after the microanastomosis for a long time. We need to make the orifice bigger. The 3.6 times larger than the simple T connection, it makes easier to maintain the long-term patency. And if after opening the recipient, the donor, the pressurized vessel wall can be expanded like this. So just a rhomboid shape is expanded like oval shape. This makes much more larger orifice, more than 3.6 times larger. It's a simple mathematics. So this is a picture drawn by my colleague Cosmo. In this picture, with the appropriate counter force, you can penetrate the vessel wall easily with the inverted situation and everted situation. The everted situation can be made with a fishmouth trimming like this. And the stitching order is important to avoid the marrow stitching. I usually perform the stay suture at heel and the toe. Here, heel, toe. Then first stitch next to a heel, first stitch next to toe, then intermediate stay suture, then stitch remaining part like this. So in this picture, this is a typical stitching manner which I always do. Usually I stitch 8 stitches in each side without stay sutures, the other side as well. So totally 18 stitches. And if we have the sufficient training with synthetic tube something or animals, we can finish the 18 stitches in 18 minutes. And this means that one stitch should be finished within 1 minute. This is the very important eligibility to do a microanastomosis. And the patient who requires microanastomosis always have the atherosclerotic change. Atherosclerotic change causes the intimal dissection easily when we try to piercing the needle from outside to inside. By the needle tip, the atherosclerotic endothelium easily dissected like this. So it's a danger if you couldn't penetrate the endothelium completely. So in such situation, we need to change the direction to piercing the vessel wall like this from inside to outside. This is another important thing to be careful. This is a actual example of the fishmouth trimming, the 60-degree and the same length cutting up. And this is a stay suture on heel and toe. Then the arteriotomy should be marked on the recipient, and all the branches just beside the arteriotomy, and the parent artery should be occluded with the appropriate temporary clips. In this case, this is a moya, so that we are using the small ABM clips made by Mizuho. Anyway, the appropriate length of arteriotomy should be made, not too short, not too long. And after finishing the stay sutures, the first stitch next to each stay sutures most important point. So there are the most difficult point. Four points are difficult next to the heel and the toe stay suture. You see, as well. The most difficult part should be stitched first, then you can make the intermediate stay suture, then remaining part could be stitched. Then you can remove the temporary clip and confirm the no leakage, then you can open the door. So this is a STA graft is filling the ACA territory in a moya patient. Another video. This is a 42-year-old female. The previously clipped about 10 years ago. The patient had a clipping, but unfortunately, patient have the recurrence, and there are three M3 branches at the MCA bifurcation. Unfortunately, intermediate M2 branch arose directly from the aneurysm dome. Here, this one. This one is the intermediate M2 directly arising from aneurysm. And the previous many clips is adherent with the granulation. I am trying to remove the previous clips, but before removing the clips, we need to compensate the blood flow to MCA territory when the temporary occlusion prolonged during the removal of clips. So firstly, the STA intermediate M2 branch is anastomosed, and confirming the ICZ video angiography, then I am exposing the frontal M2. I was expected when we remove the previous clips and try to separate the aneurysm from circulation, the frontal branch could not be saved. So the revascularized intermediate branch is transposed to a supratrunk of M2 now. Then the STA intermediate branch to a supratrunk of M2 is completed. And then this is the M1, and this is the supratrunk of origin. And I am trying to expose the whole aneurysms. During dissection here, this is the origin of a supratrunk of M2. Unfortunately injured. I am repairing the injured part.
C'est les chirurgies, bon, microchirurgie vasculaire. Non, je pense que ce sont les anévrismes, les trucs des mois là.
And with this situation, I am trying to remove all the previous clips. So many clips. Directly incising the hard granulation with the scissors, then the remaining clips could be removed like this. Then I am trying to do a tentative dome clipping with large clips and confirming the anterograde flow from M1 to M2 here. And fortunately, I could perform the complete neck clipping with multiple clips. You can see the ICZ video angiography shows the complete neck clipping, preserving the anterograde flow to the M2, both M2. So as a result, this time STA intermediate branch, transposition intermediate branch to super M2 was not necessary as a result, but this is a result. See. So, and this illustration shows what we did in this surgery. Today, I can finish my presentation with this video, but in summary, these are the very important point in any surgery, especially in the cerebrovascular surgery. The preparation, the hemostasis as a preparation is quite important. Bloodless transcisternar approach with high magnification to expose the lesion, and the saving all sylvian veins or all intracranial veins is necessary. And sometimes if we have something, the injury of the vessels, like the arteries, we need to reconstruct it directly stitching. And watertight dural closure, it's a good training for microanasmosis, especially for young guys, because the dural closure, not only dural closure, head closure is the young guys, residents work in everywhere. So in every surgery, every craniotomy, young guys try to do the good practice for microanastomosis with the dural approach. And stitching bite in a microanastomosis should be twice above bore thickness, 4 times for each interval. See, these are the very important principles to do a microanastomosis. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Tem uma pergunta para ele? One question to him? We are here in the auditorium. Several people here watching you. May I ask you?
Yep.
Today you see a lot of techniques endovascular for thrombectomy, for MCA thrombectomy especially. What your indication for microsurgical thrombectomy instead of endovascular thrombectomy for MCA occlusion?
Yeah, basically endovascular, the thrombus retrieving should be first. Of course, even in my institute, the endovascular surgeons try to remove the thrombus firstly, but as a rule in our institute, the endovascular surgeons should not chase too much for a long time, more than 1 hour. This is our rule. So within 1 hour, if they cannot recognize the occluded vessel, we consider the next treatment as a surgery. So if they have no recognition after 1 hour, and if they have something accident like a perforation, bleeding, something, that we transfer the patient to OR immediately. Then we try to do the emergency craniotomy and emergent embolectomy, thrombectomy, or repair of the injured vessel. These are the indications.
When you do microsurgery, how long you keep the patient and the post-op anticoagulated, or if you're not anticoagulated?
Basically, depends on the patient condition of the arteriosclerotic change. All the patients require something antiplatelet agents like aspirin 100 milligram or clopidogrel 75 milligram per day. But anticoagulation, basically, we do not do anticoagulation. The systemic heparinization is not necessary after surgery.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. And Edgar, are you here yet? Dr. Natal?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Make some question to Professor Tanikawa. Amazing technique, unbelievable.
Yeah, I want to ask Rokuya, because it's a question that is made very often for me. In the low flow bypasses, do you use antiplatelet, I mean aspirin, immediately after surgery, before surgery, when you start the aspirin? And
yeah.
Do you use something during operation?
Yeah, it's a good question. Basically, we use aspirin for low flow bypass, but depends on the patient condition. If patient have a very strong atherosclerotic change angiographically, we start aspirin, 100 milligram aspirin 1 week before surgery. But if the atherosclerosis was not so bad, we use the aspirin just after surgery. But during surgery, we can find that the parent artery atherosclerosis was too bad than we expected before surgery. We can begin the aspirin during surgery. So depends on the patient's atherosclerotic change. We can adjust the timing and amount of the antiplatelet agents.
Okay, another technical question. What do you do in cases when you realize after using ICG, for example, if the bypass is non-well function? Do you open the bypass? Do you make a local analysis, or you move the bypass to another side?
Yeah, it's an important point. We need to find the cause of the malfunction of the bypass. If the bypass was not patent in video angiography. But there are the 2 points of the malfunction of a bypass. The one is the anastomosis, the orifice thrombosis. And the other one is the something kinking or twisting of the graft. So these are the 2 points of the malfunction of bypass. Especially in a long graft bypass, the twisting or kinking easily happens. So even in STA graft, the STA graft can be twisted easily. So that we have to check it. If the twisting happened, absolutely we need to reduce the twisting by occluding a recipient and the donor once again, and remove the anastomosis, and reduce the twisting again with the expanding the donor, the maintaining the expanding of the ST graft, then carefully re-anastomose. But re-anastomosis has a risk of the easy thrombosis because of the injury of the endothelium of a recipient. So if to avoid it, we can cut the donor vessel in the middle of the length, then you can reduce the twisting in each side. Then you can adjust the rotation not to twist the graft. Then you need to do an end-to-end anastomosis. But the simple perpendicular end-to-end anastomosis is often make the something stenosis like this. So I recommend it. I recommend to do the fishbowl trimming in each end of the end-to-end anastomosis. And if the something thrombosis happened in orifice after the opening of bypass, absolutely in such case we need to remove each stitch and release the donor and the recipient and check inside. But we have to realize that if the thrombosis happens once in the vessel lumen, it easily activates the continuous thrombosis. So even after the re-anastomosis, the thrombosis of the orifice easily happens if the correct anastomosis is performed. So even after correct anastomosis performed, the easily happen the thrombosis after something thrombosis happened. So in such case, we check the orifice, no inversion. The no inversion happens, then we can we can check the everting and intima attachment. And simultaneously, I ask anesthesiologist to administrate firstly 3,000 international units of heparin intravenously, and then 10-15 minutes wait, observing the oris of microanastomosis, whether the thrombosis is formed or not. And if even after 3,000 heparin, the still thrombosis happen, I ask them 2,000 more to add the heparin. Usually, with the heparinization, the thrombosis can be disappeared within 1 hour. But if still the thrombosis happen and the bypass is occluded, you need to make the new bypass to another recipient.
Okay, there is one question from the attendees. One person asked about the use of bypass in subarachnoid hemorrhage to prevent the delayed ischemic phenomena.
Yeah, it's a good question. Especially in broad-breast aneurysm on the internal carotid artery, we usually perform the aneurysm trapping with a high flow bypass using usually we use a saphenous vein graft in acute subarachnoid hemorrhage, because it's easy to harvest the saphenous vein graft from a lower leg than taking the radial artery from the forearm. The taking radial artery takes time, but the saphenous vein, it's just a 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Then we can prepare the saphenous vein graft easily. This is the one reason why we use the saphenous vein graft. And the most important point, if we trap the aneurysm, internal carotid artery, the patient brain circulation depends on the collateral flows, like the ACOM cross flow or PCOM ORCOC flow, or left meningeal anastomosis from ACA, PCA. But the problem is, as everybody knows, that delayed vasospasm, it deteriorates patient condition. Even the internal carotid artery is patent. So if the internal carotid is occluded by the trapping of aneurysm with a high flow bypass or low flow bypass, of course the perfusion pressure declines so much, and with such situation, the vasospasm happens. The patient delayed ischemia deteriorate too much. Usually the hemispheric, the massive infarction happens. So that we need to avoid such a terrible complication, and high flow bypass helps to avoid such a delayed ischemia. So we always perform the high flow bypass when the internal carotid blood-brain aneurysm is requires trapping.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a final question by my part. Do you prefer to do one vessel low flow bypass or double bypass? And in which cases do you select one or another technique? And finally, you have a lot of cases of moya-moya disease. Recently has been some papers saying that EDAS or EDAS function better than bypass. What do you think about it?
Yeah. the single bypass or double bypass or the STMC bypass, this selection depends on the patient's vessel condition, because as I showed you in this time video, the MCA recurrent aneurysm. In that case, I did just a single STA M2 bypass, and intermediate M2 was transposed to a super trunk. So if the aneurysm in the aneurysm surgery, if the aneurysm must be completely trapped, of course, all efferent branches from aneurysm should be revascularized. So if there are two branches, I usually do a STA double barrel M2 bypass to each efferent vessels, of course. If necessary, if one more bypass is necessary, we can think something at the transposition of the intracranial bypass, intracranial vessels, like in situ bypass, as I did the transposition to the branch, next to the branch. And so in the aneurysm surgery, the single or double should be determined by the patient vessel condition, pathophysiology. And in the moya, I have been performing the both way, direct and indirect anastomosis. Especially in pediatric moya patient, I have been performing STA, ACA, STA, MCA, direct bypass, and EDAS, EMAS, and EPAS. EP means the periosteum for medial craniotomy for STA bypass. Anyway, indirect bypass in pediatric patients works well, especially younger than 12 years old. All the pediatric patients, indirect bypass works well, but it takes time after surgery, at least 3 months. Some patients require 6 months more to work the indirect bypass sufficiently. So this time lag is a problem in a severe ischemia patient of a pediatric patient. Even after surgery, many parents, many mothers complain that even after surgery, the patient had a surgery, but ischemia cannot be improved with just only an indirect bypass. But if we perform the direct bypass, I have no experience of the severe ischemic attack after direct bypass, because the direct bypass works immediately. But this is the advantage of a direct bypass. But the drawback is some patients have the hyperperfusion. So after surgery, we of course in every patient with the direct bypass, we have to carefully observe the patient whether the hyperperfusion happens or not. Carefully observe the patient. If necessary, we can treat the hyperperfusion with a hypotension and something anti-epileptic agent. But in many cases, pediatric patient has not so strong hyperperfusion. Partially the very short time hyperperfusion reaction. This is my opinion.
Please.
Okay, thank you. I don't have more questions to Professor Tanikawa.
Yep.
Amazing presentation, and thank you for giving this wonderful lecture to us.
Thank you.
you very much, sir. See you next time. Maybe presential here in Brazil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so
Yes, sir.
much. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Edgar, see you tomorrow. Gracias.
See you tomorrow. Adios.
Ciao. Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Okay. One presentation or is there another one? That's it?
The other presentation was in 3D here. It was difficult to connect. Maybe tomorrow you come back with more presentation in the morning. Is okay?
Okay.
You have Professor Natal in the morning, and at the same time you start the live surgery. In the afternoon, the people go to the lab to do microsurgery and dissection of Sylvian fissure in placenta. And Saturday, the whole day, anastomosis, train in anastomosis.
Okay, tomorrow, so tomorrow at 8 o'clock Brazil time, correct?
Bye.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you,
Ciao.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Ciao.